We are making this happen. Thank you so much for joining us.
You made it happen. I'm here.
You're here. How's your foot, by the way?
Amputated.
I mean,
They call me the next Kerry Von Erich.
I saw you walking in with both your feet. That was
This
a crazy.
This is a fake CGI.
Those are great shoes.
Yeah, these are cool.
What are those rattlesnakes?
Those are rattlesnakes.
Your wardrobe is always so on point.
This is like my dress down clothes right now. I got my
Gold's Gym shirt.
Top. I got these 80s looking. I think they're a reprint from the 80s. Got my ECW fanny pack to hold my.
You got to talk into the mic so we can hear all this. Yeah.
I got all my stuff. You could probably hear me.
Yep. The ECW fanny pack.
The throwback Oakleys.
Well, if you weren't wearing the Oakleys, I feel like people don't recognize you. That's your trademark.
Yeah. So if I walk around with my Pit Vipers or any glasses that resemble like these or anything, people will be like, "Oh, that's Joey Janela."
Of course.
But even on a weekend like this, if I don't have these,
take them off for a second. Who's this guy? Who is he?
No one knows.
No.
Now people know.
Oh, plus, it's Joey Janela.
Plus, people for some reason think that Joey Janela is 300 pounds for some reason.
Oh, bring this mic closer to you now.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Since you walked away from it.
So, yeah, the internet has given them the illusion that Joey Janela is some fat 300-pound slob. Even when I was a little chubby boy, I wasn't 300 pounds. I was the same weight I am now. I'm buff, and I'm the new stuff, baby.
What were you at your heaviest? Very
200
heaviest.
Pounds.
How much?
200 pounds.
And what do you weigh now?
I am now.
Oh, you weigh 200 pounds.
Yeah.
You look great, by the way.
That's it.
Yeah, you got the bicep vein.
The muscle.
Ooh, hey,
that's
put those
it.
away. You got a license for those?
That's it. I just decided 2022, Bad Boy Summer Part 2. I want to get buff. I want to get my teeth fixed, which we're in the process right now. Thank you, Dr. Britt Baker. She's doing my teeth. These are just temps. June 9th, the real teeth go in.
Wait, Britt Baker's actually doing your teeth?
Yeah. Can we get a little zoom in right here?
If you want.
These are temps, though. These are basically like glued in, what do they call those?
Oh, yeah, like dentures, basically?
Yeah, these are like glued in dentures, but they look good for the time being until I get the new rack up there. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
And you're going to Pittsburgh for this?
No,
oh, no, they're in Orlando. Yeah.
Right. I go right down the street. But new teeth, new physique, Bad Boy Summer Part 2, going to the beach, gonna get my nipples sucked while I'm drinking a twisted tea because I'm so sick of White Claws. I'm absolutely sick of hard seltzer. So now we're at Twisted Teas, Four Locos, Jack Daniels, beer, anything I can get my hands on besides hard seltzers now. But it's gonna be a lot of nip sucking this summer. And, it's just because, these are succulent nips. And I wanted to enjoy myself.
Four Loco, by the way, is quite a throwback.
Yeah,
it's
I didn't.
10 years. The old formula was like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That was the formula that makes you walk down the street in Seaside Heights and punch a cop out.
Is that what you did?
No, I didn't. I never punched a cop.
Oh.
I never.
Yeah, okay.
Never did.
Oh, he's winking. Oh, okay. You can't see with the glasses on.
I've never, ever punched a cop and ran away.
Oh, boy. I feel like there's a real story here.
I've gotten my ass beat by cops, but.
Man, you were the one. We did our first interview like 3-ish years ago. You at that time were making White Claws like really cool.
Yeah, because at the time, that was like something new, something fresh. It's like, wow, they're only 90 calories. But why was I fatter and more out of shape on White Claw than I am drinking Coronas, and sugary twisted teas, and sugary pineapple vodka drinks, and my favorite, of course, the margarita, especially a mezcal margarita, with a little smoky taste, little smokiness. Maybe you put some jalapeno or habanero tequila in there.
I'm all about a spicy marg.
That's what I'm about.
How do you feel about the Rock's tequila, Terramana?
I think it's pretty good. I think all the new tequilas are pretty solid. The George Clooney one's good too.
Oh yeah, why can't I? Casamigos.
Yeah,
Casamigos is very smooth.
Yeah.
So is the Rock's. Like you could sip the Rock's tequila.
Well, he sips it all the time on his little.
Well, of course, that's how he sells so many, bottles.
Well, of course, he's not mixing it with anything anyway. When you have that physique, you can't.
Yeah.
Think
when you
about
have a
that
physique
shit.
like this, come on.
I'm the next Rock. That's what they're saying. That's what all the girls are saying.
That's exactly what they're saying.
That's why I'm getting the teeth done, because I'm breaking the acting right now. I'm going to be the next Rock. I'm going to make a couple shitty movies. I'm going to make a couple shitty movies until I find my flow. And I become that Hollywood hunk.
You got to move in closer to the mic here.
I become that Hollywood hunk.
Wow, that's maybe too close. Split the difference here.
Not like Ryan Nemeth, like a whole new breed of hunk.
Yeah, you don't need to hold the mic. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll just sit here. But just, sit maybe like Joe Rogan always says, like a fist away from it. So you just come into the table a little bit more. See, there it is.
Good.
That's real good. But back to the foot. So this video went viral of you giving a flaming super kick.
Yes.
You lit your foot on fire, which in itself was already crazy enough that you gave a flaming super kick. But it was the fact that your foot wouldn't go out. It just kept burning.
So this is the situation. So the night before, me, Drew Parker, who's probably one of the top deathmatch wrestlers right now. He's from England. He moved to Japan to wrestle some of the best deathmatch wrestlers in the world. That's where the best, most story-driven deathmatches are. That's where Jun Kasai is. That's where Takeda is. Freedom's in Big Japan. They run the deathmatch scene over in Japan. So he went over there, and now he lives there. So we've been bringing him in sporadically for GCW, probably once a year. So this match was supposed to happen in January on New Year's Eve, and he didn't want to come over because the COVID restrictions came back.
Okay.
So he sat out. So we delayed the match to Los Angeles, and he's one of my favorite dudes. So the night before, I said, you know what? You're doing a lot of death matches on this tour. Let's take it easy.
Okay.
All right? Let's not do a death match. Let's do a Joey Janela hybrid plunder match, which a lot of my matches are. They're basically, I kind of have that New Japan main event flow, but with doors and bullshit, with outlaw mud show bullshit. So we're at the Rainbow Room in LA, West Hollywood, the famous Rainbow Room.
Yep.
Start taking a shot of whiskey, one shot of whiskey.
What?
2 shot of whiskey.
What?
3 shot of whiskey.
What?
Then I go, Drew, I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
Let's do 15 minutes of a regular wrestling match, and then all of a sudden, it's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist. It all of a sudden turns into a fucking death match.
I see dead people.
And he was like, all right, let's do it. And then I woke up the next day. I go, fuck. Why did I agree to this? Because right now, in this point in my career, I kind of want to stay away from the death matches. I don't want to scar my face up. I got glass still from the last one I did in my arm.
Oh, that's what that scar is?
This is glass trying to come out. I tried to pull the last one out with tweezers, but they're like pimples. Eventually it'll come through, and then you'll have to slice it open with X-Acto and pull it out.
Is that what the big scar is there? That big scar kind of looks like the Ultimate Warrior.
This scar right here is that's how the glass got in there, and I didn't know it was in there. It was
From a light tube?
From a plate with a pane of glass.
Okay.
So we agree we're going to do glass, but the day of the show, they couldn't find glass. I was relieved. All right, but we got barbed wire. We got thumbtacks.
Yeah.
We got gussets. Gussets are square metal spiky things that hold bridges together. They're pretty dangerous.
Okay.
I said, all right. I said, all right, I'll do it. Let's do it. And then, I came up with this idea. I said, what if I light my foot on fire and give you a super kick? I'm just playing with ideas. He's like, oh, that sounds cool. I said, can we get lighter fluid? So I talked to this guy, Rob Shit. He's like an LA guy. His name is Rob Shit. That's his wrestling name. I said, you have a motorcycle. You have a vehicle here. Can you go find me lighter fluid?
Yeah.
Thinking about lighting my foot on fire. Within 10 minutes, he comes back with some lighter fluid. All right, I guess this is going to happen. So I go to Brett. I go, Brett, I'm going to light my foot on fire and give Drew a super kick. He thought I was just bullshitting. He didn't think I was actually going to go through with it. He's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So we get out there, and fire spots are usually, they go either to the left or the right. It's usually rarely perfect. They either don't work and the fire goes out and you look like a complete idiot,
Okay.
or the fire is blazing and you nearly die. I didn't want it to make it the latter. I didn't want to make it a shitty
Well,
fire spot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when I took the lighter fluid, I've absolutely used probably 3/4 of that bottle on my foot. And when we were ready to go, I took that lighter and I lit that foot up, and that was blazing. I didn't really feel it at the time. It wasn't bad. I hit it. Perfectly executed super kick with the fire. Couldn't have gone any better. But then I'm waiting for the water, and the only people that really knew were me, Drew, the ref, and one of the young guys from LA who is helping out with building stuff for the night, and Rob Shit. So
You didn't think to have a fire extinguisher on hand?
I didn't want a fire extinguisher. Usually a fire extinguisher, it's kind of pointless. Usually you put water on the fire and it goes out. That's what people don't get. The last thing I want is some fucking guy coming, spraying a fire extinguisher at me, and me breaking out in a rash and my eyes swelling up for fucking 4 days.
Okay.
That's what happens.
Okay.
The chemicals in a fire extinguisher are terrible for you. They're not supposed to spray heat. This is not 2000 WWF fire extinguisher. This is a real fire extinguisher. I don't want that sprayed at me. So usually a bucket of water will do it. That's what I thought they had, a bucket of water.
Well, they were using a little bottle of water.
So yeah, it wasn't like this $10 bottle of Fiji water I bought at this fucking casino, but it was a Poland Spring. I don't even think it was probably
Like a 500 milliliter.
probably even shittier brand, probably store brand fucking bottle of water.
Kirkland brand.
Yeah, so they start splashing my foot, and I'm trying to get the shoe off because I tied the shoe so tight on that I didn't want there to be a chance that I super kicked them and my flaming shoe flew off into the crowd and lit someone on fire, because that was a famous situation in ECW. That's why people were saying, they're like, ECW would never be dumb enough to do this. No, they were dumber. They almost lit the whole building on fire, and they were lighting fans on fire when Cactus Jack, the video doesn't exist. The evidence was supposedly erased. I know somebody has that video somewhere, probably in Stamford, in some vault, that Cactus Jack hit Terry Funk in the back with a flaming chair, and the towel flew off onto Terry Funk and Dreamer, and they both caught fire. And then they ran into the crowd, and then the towel flew into the crowd.
Oh, man.
And then there was supposed to be some kind of crucifixion angle afterwards, so they went with it still while this flaming rag and Terry Funk is running around on fire. They turn out the lights for this crucifixion angle, so then the fans are freaking out because there's no lights in the ECW arena now, and there's a stampede, and people are getting trampled, and there's fire everywhere. And, yeah, that was a disaster. So, yes, ECW did dumber shit than I did on that night in L.A., but I had it tight, and so it was hard to get it off. I get it off, and then I was like, the shoe's on fire, okay. And then I look, and my sock is on fire now. And I go, what the fuck? How did that happen? How is my... So then they're pouring water on it, and then I start grabbing it. I start grabbing my foot, trying to put it out with my hands. Adrenaline's running through me. I don't feel the flames. I guess it's just a lighter fluid, the way it burns. And eventually, Rob Shit to the rescue, came out and threw his leather jacket on my foot and out. But
did you get any burns? Do you have
no
any burns?
burns. It didn't even burn through the sock.
I mean, when you do a spot like that and you upload the video, there's always a wide array of comments.
Yes.
Do you look at the very negative comments on those?
I love it. I love being polarizing. Growing up, I always were attracted to the polarizing celebrities, that the headlines on the National Enquirer.
Like who?
Just like the people that there's always like, there's a whole like large array. Like, I can't even
That's
think
when we
of
were
it.
younger. Like Robert Downey Jr. was not the Robert Downey Jr.
Yes,
we know
yes.
now.
Well, like guys like Robert Downey Jr., guys like Tommy Lee, people that were always some of the rock stars. The Marilyn Manson.
Oh, that's a great
Marilyn
example.
fucking Manson.
Yeah.
That was like when I was a kid. That's who fucked up my life. It was ECW, and Marilyn Manson, probably. Where I was like, wow, I want to be like Marilyn Manson. This guy's in the headlines every week for doing something fucking controversial. That is number one. Marilyn Manson is like, I know he's pretty much canceled at the moment. But at that time, I was like obsessed with Marilyn Manson and the way he always was in the headlines for doing something controversial. And there was, and I don't believe in apologizing. I believe that's when his career kind of downward spiraled after he apologized, because the whole Columbine situation, they said that he was a contributor to why that situation happened. And I felt like he apologized, but of course they're just going to, it wasn't him, but that's what, at that time, America's never seen someone like Marilyn Manson. So they're just, this guy's a Satanist. This guy's doing this. This guy is cross-dressing. He's doing this. He's doing that. Like, he was always in the headlines, and I always like were attracted to those people. So I love the hate. People think I'm thin-skinned. I'm certainly not thin-skinned. I've been dealing with this harassment on social media for years. And most people would ignore it. Most people would just go on with their day and not care what someone says. But when I rattle that hornet's nest, it just gives me that much more attention. And I can go, something could happen. I can light my foot on fire. And then I say something to somebody, and then it snowball effect. And then I'm trending on social media. Because not only did I do something very ill-advised, very stupid, but I'm also acting like an asshole at the same time. So it's just...
you blur the lines a lot.
A lot. I've been blurring the lines a lot lately because I'm no longer with AEW, so I can kind of get away with it a little bit more, being an independent guy and not having to worry about Turner, whatever it's called now.
TNT,
Warner
TBS,
Media, Warner Media, hitting up Tony Khan saying, this is one of your wrestlers. What the fuck is wrong with him? Why did you hire this guy? Which I learned a lot when this tweet came out. What the fuck?
Did that happen to you?
It's happened to me a few times there.
Did you feel like there was a point over the last 3 years where you couldn't be yourself completely because you were under contract?
I could never really be myself completely being under contract. The Joey Janela before AEW is quite similar to the Joey Janela now after AEW.
Yeah.
I'm just a lot smarter and more mature than I was then. But to the outside people, I'm just as immature and idiotic as I was before signing the deal.
But you certainly weren't as extreme in AEW.
No.
Yeah.
I was definitely, I watered myself down a lot. And
are you okay with that?
I made money.
Sure.
I made money.
You got paid every 2 weeks for 3 years.
Every 2 weeks for 3 years, I made money. And now, with the... I seen Jerry Lynn last night at the bar. I was like, I was thanking him so much because he...
Isn't that guy awesome?
Awesome. He aged one of my top matches there. So I said, I've learned so much from you. So people took offense to this. Fans were like, you're an idiot for saying this, and it doesn't make sense. But being in AEW was a developmental phase for the rest of my career. What I learned being in that 3-year company, what I learned being in a TV company, especially half of it was during a pandemic, wrestling in front of no fans. What I've learned was, you can't buy that shit. I learned so much from a lot of the guys there, whether it be, you learn so much because I never really, people think I'm untrained. That's not the case. A lot of people would be pissed off to find out that the way I trained in professional wrestling was the same way a lot of their favorites did in the 70s and 80s. I learned on the road. I learned in camps. I've learned going to different wrestling schools, traveling the United States. But from what I learned, it's just like TV experience and all that. You know?
I understand where you were coming from when you said it. You didn't mean that it was like developmental, like
no. But people take my words and they create fake headlines.
Yeah, you're basically saying, and I don't want to misquote you, but you're saying like that prepared you to be a better wrestler wherever you go from here on
absolutely, and help a lot of new guys be better wrestlers.
Like now someone can come to you and go, hey man, I really want to get noticed by AEW. What should I do? Or I want to be a better wrestler for when I am on TV. How can I do that?
They could ask me that, or they could ask me advice on their match and watch their match. And a lot of guys, if now I get opportunity, if a guy is coming up, I can just go to any indie promoter right now and say, I want to wrestle that guy, or I want to wrestle I hear this guy in your state is the top guy now. I want to elevate him.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've done that for a lot of guys in the last, basically the whole time. I've elevated a lot of guys, and that's what I did for Nick Wade. I said I wanted to wrestle that guy. I don't want to do it in GCW. I want to go to Seattle. I want to go to his home state. I want to wrestle him in Defy. Guys like Ninja Mac and Dante Leon. I seen those guys. I just seen clips of those guys on the Wrestling with Unicorns Instagram, and I said, these guys are wild. I wonder if they know how to actually wrestle. So then I said, can you send me the whole match?
Oh, wow.
And I said the whole match. I started taking my own clips out and sending them to Brett. They were booked.
Oh, perfect.
Just like it's always, GCW now is top indie where the guys are going to come in and a lot of eyes are on the company. A lot of guys from AEW, a lot of guys from WWE are watching GCW.
Yeah.
So they're picking guys out from there now.
Yeah.
Despite our wild outlaw reputation, which sometimes gets us in trouble, we do have talent rolling through nonstop, and it's kind of like we are the main gear in the machine now to crank them out.
You've definitely really shifted Matt Cardona's career.
Yeah, even guys coming back.
And that's such an interesting thing because Matt Cardona was making some noise in the indies, and then he went in, did that death match in GCW, and it was like, oh man.
That was all basically Brett and John Carlo came up with that whole angle, and man, that was fantastic. And he really went through with that death match, and he really bled all over the fucking place. And he needed to get to that. And now he was on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, I think, recently.
Yeah.
It's not 1987 Pro Wrestling Illustrated, but still, to be on the cover, that's kind of a cool thing, especially the way his career has gone up and down and up and down and up and down. And I believe one day he's so over right now that he will have a chance that he's going to sign to a major company, and then he's going to be a top guy. There's no reason he shouldn't be.
And he doesn't. The thing is, he doesn't need to sign with a major company with everything he's doing right now.
He's with Impact right now. He's with NWA. He's the NWA champion.
He did some stuff with AEW. Like since being released, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
Was there a point in AEW where you were like, I don't think I'm going to get re-signed here?
There was. So this is the thing. People think that. So this is the situation, and people are going to take this and say I'm just creating false narratives and craziness. So the plan was to bring me back to TV, and that's why they put me with. So Tony was like, "Listen, your act with Penelope, it was stellar. We have to find a way to kind of not replicate that, but we need an athletic female that we can pair you with so we can kind of do a similar act and bring you back to TV."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I'll start looking on the indies for gymnasts or former cheerleaders and stuff that can do some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So we looked at a few girls, and we were on the fence about it because when the lights are on, it's going to be, you got to hit those big moves. Penelope was always able to do that. Yeah. And she was really, really like teaming with me and doing the stuff with me on the indies, CCW, and beyond wrestling. It was really like, all right, she didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, she was trained by Drew Gulak. She learned the basics pretty solid, but I'm like, listen, you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to hit it in one shot, or you're going to have to do something this fucking crazy. And she was just like, all right, let's go. And that was basically our act. So Tony wanted something similar to that. So then I seen the girl Kayla. I seen clips of her doing Phoenix splashes and moonsaults and stuff, and found out that she was a former Olympic gymnast and a pro bodybuilder. I was like, wow, this is something different. This is great. And I was always a fan of early China with D-Generation X. I said, she could be China, but with crazy
like aerial moves,
moves and just craziness.
Yeah.
So we pitched it to Tony. And Tony's like, yeah, let's bring her up. So where do you want to do it? Let's do a Universal. I said, no. I said, let's do it in the United Center. I said, let's have her come out to the United Center and do something. Well, we debuted her there, and you know, I think she just started training like within a couple months. So she got brought right in. I seen her. She was training for 2 months. Brought her right into the United Center, one of the biggest shows in AEW history at that point.
Yeah.
So she did something. She power bombed Robert Anthony, but he kind of leaped into it. So he kind of looked, and she's not a wrestler, so she doesn't have the mind to grab. He just hopped in just to make it look as good as possible. So that clip kind of went into all the botch Twitters, the AEW botches, the botch kings. I don't know what these fucking things are. So kind of like, fuck. Okay, Tony said I didn't like it. Okay, I got an idea. Let's do the match with Sonny. We did the heel turn on Sonny. I said, we're going to do let's do a Jersey versus Jersey match Prudential for Dark. So, and then have her do something crazy afterwards. So we have this match. We have 12 minutes on the board. We're about to go out. Okay, now you guys have 6 minutes. Tony's like, no, 5 minutes. That's something that usually happens at TV. Like, fuck. Like, we're supposed to have this big match in our home state.
Yeah.
Sold out, Prudential Center. We absolutely aced that match. Like, it was nonstop action. Not a lot of selling, not a lot of psychology, but man, that crowd was hot. One of the hottest crowds I've ever encountered one of my matches in AEW. It was awesome. We had them, and then we had her do the moonsault double stop with the chair on Sonny afterwards, and the crowd just lost it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, we have something.
Yeah.
Tony's like, yes, now we have something.
Okay.
Everyone's like, yeah, we have something. Big Show's like, this is a great act. This is something. You guys got something. Let's keep on working.
Okay.
Giving her advice. Everyone is really digging it, and some of the girls, of course, are like, who's this girl? She's been training for 2 months. She walks in off the streets and is suddenly getting on something that we've worked so hard for all these years.
Yeah.
But she becomes really cool with the locker room, and Tony says we have something. So the plan is, Tony said, okay, now we're going to do another Sonny Kiss match. But he's so all over the place, so he's not really focused too much on the dark shit. So he says, all right, write this whole storyline. Create this whole storyline, which I did from the turn on Sonny. So I basically wrote everything, pitched it to Cody and QT, and they would feed it to Tony. And Tony's like, okay, let's go. So then he said, okay, we just got to get this Sonny street fight match out of the way, the blow off, and then we can bring you back to TV and figure something out.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I said, finally, back on TV. Let's go. I'm in great shape right now. I got in the best shape. I was like, ready to go, TV. So we do the street fight, and Tony says, you up? Because we're bringing you back there. We're going to give you something. And I said, okay, cool. So I beat Sonny in that match, and a great match, another great match with Sonny Kiss. So then we're just rolling with the punches. I don't know what happened after that, but then the thing with Eddie Kingston, I super kicked him a little bit too hard and broke his eye socket, which is unfortunate. Shit happens.
Do you think that did that play into you being released or not renewed?
There was no release. It was just a non-renewal, and there was chances are that I was going to be renewed, whether it be with Ring of Honor or here from, but then I just ran my mouth in an interview saying, I haven't heard from anyone.
Yeah.
What is going on? I guess I'm not getting renewed. So then...
Then did you hear from someone?
No. Then I heard that Tony he's hot about it. Because it made him look bad, but made their talent relations look bad. But at the same time, it made them, improve their communications with talent. Within that 2-week period that I did that, the communications were a lot better. And
did you hear very quickly after that interview came out with Denise? Did you?
I didn't hear from anyone.
Oh,
so I
you
just
heard through the grapevine that people were upset.
I heard people were upset, but I also heard talent was hitting me up from the company saying, "You're 100% correct." I said, "You spoke up, and you're correct," and that was cool for you to take that risk.
So you were like, to make an analogy here, you're in that situation where you've had a bunch of dates with someone, and then you're texting them and they're not responding. You're like, guess this is over then.
Yeah. So I said, all right. So Denise wanted an interview. I said, you know what? I said, let's just do it. I was just like, I've had it. I stressed out. Just frustrated.
Yeah,
No
sure.
pun intended. I'm just frustrated. You guys will get that, but it's just a situation. But it created a lot of good out of it, and I haven't talked to Tony since, which is kind of a little. That's something that kind of irked me because we were so cool, and we always, after the AEW shows, when AEW first started, I would go out with him because he knew I'd be the one to stay up with him until 7 a.m. drinking shots of tequila. So yeah, I assume he's still a little irked by it, but there's no hard feelings on either side.
I mean, you said a lot of really, really, really nice things about your time in AEW.
Yeah, but people take it out of context and they think I'm some kind of asshole. I'm just real. I'm not gonna tell fabrications, or I'm not gonna hold back on my experiences. I just think, I want to get something out. I'm a very emotional person. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it out there. So there's no bridges burned between me and AEW. I'm friends with all the talent there. I'm in contact with all the talent there.
Yeah.
And a lot of talent there, Tony has a hard job.
He wears a lot of hats.
He wears a lot of hats. Not only is he doing the football thing in England, he's doing the football thing in the United States. He's always on phone calls in those situations, or writing something with that. And then he has to book a wrestling show. Yep. But the thing is,
2 of them.
3 wrestling shows. But the thing is, he's not booking a traditional wrestling show. Now he has a large roster, huge roster. He signed some of the greatest free agents in the world. Mm-hmm. And you have 3 hours of TV a week. And when you're not booking a traditional wrestling show and you want to book a TV show like a mini pay-per-view every week,
yep,
a lot of your talent is not going to get time every week. And they're going to have to either sit out and wait for something to come up and sit out in the rotation and, just go to work, be happy that you're, or, they can, try to pitch something or go a creative route, or they can just sit out and wait for stuff to come. Some of the guys there right now, they just feel like they should be given more, which I believe a lot of guys are, and it's very hard to book it and a wrestling show when you're booking it like a pay-per-view.
You're never going to make everybody happy. That's within the company and, for the fans as well.
Yeah.
Now that's a really, really tough line to walk, because you want to make everybody happy, I would assume. You're not going out there to piss people off.
No. Tony tries to make everyone happy. He's that work environment is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic work environment. Of course, with all professional wrestling, especially when it's on a mainstream level, there's going to be a huge amount of politics.
There's a lot of scrutiny too.
That's everything. But when you're trying to book, when you have 25-minute matches every week on your show, it's hard to fit everyone in. You're not going to make everyone happy. He tries to make everyone happy. So Cody is going to be the guy when he went to WWE. If you heard on the internet that MJF, he wants more money and whatnot. I don't know that situation. I'm not in communication. I just know as much as the internet knows.
I also don't know if that's MJF, the character, or MJF, the person.
He blurs the lines.
I know so much.
He blurs the lines so much. That's why
I know that more than anybody.
Loved working with him so much. But he blurs the lines so much that who knows if he's working, who knows if he's not. But there's people in that company that don't know this situation, because he's never going to break kayfabe to them either because he doesn't want it to leak out to the sheets.
Yeah.
So who knows? People are looking at him like, listen, I haven't. Well, he's right. I haven't really gotten too much TV time. I want to go see what the option is at WWE. And they see Cody, and they see Cody come in, and they say, oh, well, he's getting pushed to the fucking moon. Even though he's Cody Rhodes, he's been to the dance already.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, they're looking for stars right now, and I got this following right now, and I want to go over there and see if I can make more money. I'm going to be the guy for the lower card, mid card guys to say, listen, I want to wrestle more. I don't want to do one match a month at Universal Studios against some Florida jabroni for 4 minutes, and that's my ring time for the month. I want to explore my options and do international tours and see. Right now, I got it down that I am making more money than my AEW contract right now. People say I'm bullshitting. They don't believe me, but I was making 6 figures there. But now I'm selling my merchandise. I'm stepping up my creative, like, what could I sell now? Pins, posters, T-shirts, and I'm walking out with tons of merch money, and I'm doing that. And
well, weren't you already doing indies on top of AEW?
Yeah, but we weren't able to sell our own merch, do meet and greets within that thing because it has to be you're allowed to take bookings, and you're not allowed to take Friday bookings.
Sure.
Due to Rampage being on, and Tony doesn't want talent promoting their indie show when they could be promoting the one that signs the paycheck. So I was just doing scattered Saturday shows. So now I'm doing 2 to 3 shows a weekend, and I'm not asking for crazy prices. A lot of these guys get off TV, or a lot of the guys on TV with the opportunity to do independent dates, they're asking for $6,000 to $10,000. I'm asking for basically a hot dog and a handshake. I'm asking for a hot dog and a handshake. Are you happy now? Basically, for someone coming off TV and
to light your foot on fire.
To light my foot on fire, but it's not a hot dog and a handshake. I'm getting paid a good amount. Well, it adds up when you're doing 3 shows a week, and
you're one of the highest paid people on that indie show.
Yeah, and you're and you're selling your merch.
Yeah, and you're a main eventer.
And then that's it. That's like as long as you work hard. And you want to work hard. A lot of people, I recommend if you have family, if you have children, and if you want to take this route, the one I recommend you don't, because it's brutal, because you have to really kill yourself, and you have to endure long weekends. And I'm gone 4 or 5 days a week, but
it works. It works for you.
That works for me because I don't have family, I don't have pets. This is the life I want to live. This gypsy, carny, indie wrestling life. And the thing is, I'm not mailing in any shows, so I'm just brutalizing myself every weekend. So who knows how long it can last. But right now, I'm in the best shape I've been in my career. I'm loving professional wrestling again. I was talking to Jerry Lynn last night, and he said the only 2 times he hated professional wrestling. I didn't hate professional wrestling when I was at AEW. I was so fortunate to be there and meet some of the people I met there and learn some of the stuff I learned. But he said the only times was WCW and WWF. His runs there, he was miserable. But then as soon as he left that company and started doing the indies and doing this and ECW, he loved it because it's fun, less pressure. Party with the boys. You don't have to worry about coming to an indie show next day if you want to have a few 18 Jack and Cokes the night before and you show up hungover. No one's really gonna bat an eye at you. If you do that, I learned very much the hard way. If you do that TV, you show at 1 o'clock and you're there for 9 hours and you're hungover, people are gonna know.
Yeah.
People are gonna know. So it's like I learned very quickly in that situation where I knew day before I wrestle, no more drinking. But now it's a little bit more free going. I'm not going to sleep a lot on the weekends. I'm probably going to sleep 8 hours. But I just feel free. I feel free. I'm having fun. I love seeing some of the new guys come up that are getting their first taste of success on the indies and selling their merch and going out there on a GCW show and just killing it. And people are like, wow, that guy is awesome. That guy's going to be something. They're getting their first taste of success, and I just love the gears of the pro wrestling machine, and I like being a part of it. And never say never. I could be back at AEW. I live in Orlando right now. I could get offered some kind of situation at the PC, or I can.
You think you'd be in NXT? You think NXT would be interested in you?
Probably not. I've gotten feelers before. They know I'm local, but I thought I was restricted and watered down at AEW in my own right, because I'm always trying to walk on eggshells there.
Yeah.
But NXT is a whole different ballgame. They have the password to your Twitter. So if you write something, there's someone, if you write something they don't like, there's someone at the PR deleting that. You're in an office getting yelled at, reamed out. And I'm just like me. I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. This is me. This is, most of the time, I think 95% of the time when I'm on social media, I'm working. I'm basically what a Memphis wrestler is or was in the 80s, but in the current era.
Yeah.
Always working, carny, fuck, always blurring the lines. And all the Memphis guys were great at that. If Memphis guys have social media in the 80s, they all would have been canceled. I've said it. Anyone at ECW, if the ECW guys had social media in the 90s, they would have been canceled, arrested, blackballed from the fucking business. But I know how to blur the lines without completely crossing the line and completely fucking myself, because people are very sensitive these days.
And there's a lot of people that don't like you.
A lot of people that don't like me.
And they're looking for a reason to cancel you.
Yeah. I told someone said something, they're like, I like my indie wrestling one way, without Joey Janela. I said, run into traffic, in which they took very seriously. Started getting retweeted. Joey Janela is telling people to self-harm. No, I said run into traffic. MJF says run into traffic. So oh my God, MJF, that guy is the greatest heel of all time, eh? He's the greatest heel in this generation has seen. Joey Janela tells someone to run into traffic. Joey Janela is the biggest piece of shit wrestler in the world. He doesn't deserve it. He can't wrestle. He's untrained. He's a fucking asshole. We want him out of the business. So lucky enough that my social media, my past is kind of clear. So I don't have to worry about that. So I can kind of teeter, but they're looking to cancel me.
Yeah.
I think there was a space on Twitter last night. There was 200 people in it. It said, fuck Joey Janela. And they were trying to think of ways to get me blackballed from the business because I told someone to run into traffic. It's just ridiculous because I'm playing a character. I'm pretty much a pretty nice guy. If you meet me in person, there's people that said, listen, I hated your fucking guts. I listened to Jim Cornette. I hate you. I don't think you should be in the business. But I came to the show tonight with my friends, and I watched you wrestle, and I watched the way you connected with that indie audience. And you're talking to me right now, and you're a pretty nice guy. I have a lot more respect for you. So,
yeah, there's a lot of people who don't realize. Well, they don't realize what the line's been blurred.
No.
With your career in AEW, what's the one moment where you point at and go, man, I'm so proud of that match or that moment?
My whole first run there. I believe if you wanted to give me a push, you could have at the end of that run.
Like after the Moxley match?
So there was the Moxley match, which I aced, great main event. Just a wonderful time in my life. Like, shit. Like, I felt like I was in like a CGI movie, like wrestling Mox in his return match, and I felt like I was in like some CGI Rocky crowd. It was just so bizarre in the same arena that the NWO formed, and I'm a huge mark, so I marked out for that. And I'm like, wow, I'm main eventing a pay-per-view right now.
Yeah.
And then we did but then it was like, I was like, shit, I made it. The work's I made it. Let's party, baby.
Yeah.
Let's party, dude. And then a week later, I'm at PNC Art Center, and I'm pissed drunk, blackout drunk, and it's me and Giancarlo, and I keep on saying, I'm gonna fuck with Enzo because we seen him it was Lil Wayne and Blink Way 2. I'm gonna fuck with him. Well, we couldn't find him, And then I see some guy with a beard dressed in something that looked like a potato sack walking in front of me. I go, oh, shit, it's Enzo. So then I start, like, punching him in the arm. And then he didn't take too kindly to that because I spatted about him on the internet. And then the whole situation happened, and they got it on video, and I looked like the biggest fucking idiot ever. And then everyone was like, Tony, this is the guy that you just put in the main event with Moxley, this fucking degenerate fucking idiot. And that's where I think a lot of the guys like the Christopher Daniels and the Frank Kazarians of the world, those guys that didn't know me, right there, that was like, yeah, let's write that guy off. Fuck that guy. He's an asshole. He makes us look bad. We're an upstart company. We're trying to make this the greatest wrestling company in the world. And you got the guys that piss drunk at Blink-182 concerts causing issues.
Yeah. That video went everywhere.
Everywhere. And I look like the biggest fucking idiot of all time. And I've apologized. Me and Enzo have talked out.
Do you wish you didn't do it?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's one thing I didn't wish I did in my life, and it was that. And it was blackout drunk. And I didn't want to fight the guy. I didn't want to get into a fist fight. If you get a fist fight at a concert in New Jersey, that's a $15,000 fucking fine. Like,
or you go to jail.
And you're going to jail. Yeah. And you're paying $15,000. And then it's all the courts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. And my boy John Carlo, he's the guy that did all my videos. He did all MJF's videos. He was in the WWE as a producer there for social media. Now he's a producer at AEW.
Yeah.
So he was with me, and he's childhood friends with Enzo. So he thought it was all funny. But as soon as we were about to go, he was like, no. And then he's like, they got you. They're filming you. You're fucked. I said, fuck him. I said, I want to fight him. Let's go to Belmar. And I challenged him to fights there. I was blackout. I woke up the next day, and the video's all over the internet.
Do you remember it? Or is it one of those?
I don't remember it.
It's one of those where you wake up and you go, oh, I did something bad last night.
No, I did do that.
What was it?
I have a lot of those, but it's a lot worse when you think you're like, shit, something happened, and then you go on your internet, and your Twitter has over 1,000 notifications, and it's all videos of you being a drunk idiot. And that was a moment where I'm like, shit, like I need to fucking grow up, but not really, but it's just like me and Enzo, we don't see eye to eye still but the whole Cass thing, I'm cool with Cass now. He's fucking doing awesome.
What about a GCW match with Enzo?
We've tried. We've tried to do stuff with him, and never say never. I don't think the ship has sailed. That buy rate of that show, if me and Enzo went one-on-one, would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he would go with my flow of things.
Yeah.
A lot of guys come into GCW, like the X-Pacs of the world. They want to come. All these guys want to come back. Scotty Too Hottie. They hear, they're like, there's this kid, Joey Janela. He's pretty easy. He does some pretty crazy shit, and he has a lot of attention on him on social media. So if you have a match with him and he does it the way he wants, it's going to bring attention, and you might get a lot of bookings out of it.
Yeah.
And that's been my career trajectory.
Nice one.
Since even like 2017, wrestling the Marty Jannetty's, the Scott Nolans, the Glaciers. That was like my thing before AEW. And now we're bringing it back. Like, I wrestled in the last 6 months. I had a great match with fucking Dr. Wagner Jr. in Texas. I wrestled Scotty Too Hottie. I've wrestled X-Pac. I've wrestled Cardona. I've wrestled fucking Suzuki, who's just fucking killer. I had one fucking great match with Suzuki. I've wrestled. I can't even. I'm trying to think who else I've wrestled the Hardy Boys, teamed with Gangrel. This is like, and we're only in May. We're not even through. Summer hasn't even started yet. So I'm having a fucking blast, and I love wrestling these fucking guys, and I love seeing these guys like afterwards saying like, "Fuck, that was fun." We had the crowd, like I felt like fucking great.
And you look like you're having the best time. And I hope that people through this interview are seeing a different side of you, because I definitely feel like there's going to be a lot of people that don't watch this interview and just comment on this video.
Well, they're going to pull shit from this interview. Like Joey Janela says Tony Conover jams his shows with pay-per-view quality matches. But there's not a book.
There's also going to be 1,000 people that comment and go, I'm not watching this. Like, next. It's like, well, maybe if you did watch this or listen to this, you'd see a different side of this guy.
most like people think I'm so disrespectful towards the vets in wrestling, which is completely the opposite. I love the vets, and the vets, a lot of the guys that work with me, like the Ricky Mortons of the world, they know I'm always working, and they like that shit because that's how they came up. This guy's fucking great. He's always working, and he works hard, and he wants to make us look good. He wants to, he wants to elevate us and, help us and make us feel fucking young in that ring. And I'll bump my ass off for anything. The visible fucking man. People think I'm a shitty wrestler. The term is he can wrestle a broom. I can wrestle the visible fucking man. That's thin air, dude. That's thin fucking air. I can wrestle the invisible man, and I can do it for 30 minutes, and I've done it on 3 continents.
Yeah, wow.
And fuck, I wrestled Barry Horowitz a couple weeks ago. That's another one. Barry Horowitz in his return match. And that guy has one leg that doesn't bend because he needs a knee replacement surgery. And maybe we could start a GoFundMe for the fucking guy. But I carried him to some 30-minute match. And he's never done a hardcore match in his fucking career. And I carried him to this match, and it was fucking awesome. And I recommend anyone that hasn't seen it, go on YouTube, watch me and Barry Horowitz from a few weeks ago, and you'll be like, holy shit, somehow you got through that match, and somehow you got the crowd in that match. But that's it. I'm just having a fucking blast right now.
All right, I want to wrap this up with a question that I ask all of my guests at the end, and this will definitely make people see a different side of you. I start and end my day with gratitude, so I end every conversation asking my guests, what are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for right now?
I'm grateful for the places I've gotten to see on my travels. I'm grateful for, for the wrestling business, and I'm grateful my mom got to see me on such a high level. She got to see me on pay-per-view. She got to see me in the Prudential Center and wrestle. I'm grateful that she got to see me evolve from the piece of shit child I was, the troubled child I was, to being something without a college degree. And I'm just grateful for. I'm grateful for booze, drugs, and whores, baby.
There we go. That's definitely a first. We haven't heard that one.
And fucking Tony Khan, you better push Sonny fucking Kiss, most improved wrestler.
He's great
right now in the world. And Meltzer should, if you gave Sonny a chance that run on TV, it would show right now how improved Sonny is, how Sonny just fucking everything looks fucking great now. And push Sonny Kiss, not in June because it's Pride Month. Push Sonny Kiss from June to fucking June because that's the bottom line, because the bad boy fucking said so. Push Sonny Kiss, goddammit.
Joey Janela, ladies and gentlemen.
Push Sonny Kiss. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.